Progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
To throw, Namath. That's out to Hill, right side complete.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does? It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
A first down carry for Henry. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the run.
Touchdown! Lance Allworth with his second touchdown here in this first half. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Extra point by Anderson, up and good. And it's now 14-0. Following the touchdown, here's Anderson to kick it away. And no run back here for Moore. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I was
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that...
On Herbert, his 3rd interception. Deion Sanders, the Hall of Famer, with a pick. And Charles, it seems like sometimes when you fall down early, there can be a tendency there to try and get it all back in one fell swoop. And that time, that thinking leads to an interception.
And I believe you brought up a really good point there, Brandon, because you try and force plays, right? You try and get all back in one shot, just as you mentioned there. And you know you're going to need some big plays to get back into the game. But ultimately, you really can't force what isn't there.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Namath. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And the defense loses him. It's complete. Touchdown! Lance Allworth on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Extra point by Anderson, up and good. And it's now 21-0. Following the touchdown, here's Anderson to kick it away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Nowhere to go for Herbert, and he's going to go down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now it's Herbert. Under pressure, they got him again. Cam Chancellor, he can do it all. This time it's a sack on the safety blitz. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. From his own end zone, Herbert. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Past the 20.
What you doing out there, boy?
And in for the Steelers touchdown. Justin Jefferson in the final seconds of the first half. And the Steelers are on the board here in the final seconds of the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. Now Matt Prater for the point after. It's up, it's good, and that'll cut the lead to 21-7. So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. Looking up into the roof, and he muffs it. It's loose. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Steelers going to get the football first here, trailing on the scoreboard as we are back underway on EA Sports. Now this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't.
Under pressure, and down he goes. Well-timed effort there by Derwin James, a sack from his safety position.
I'd say it's not panic time yet, but let's be honest about it. Empty possession here, not what you're looking for when you're down a couple of scores.
Absolutely not. Trying to start the second half off on the right foot. Unfortunately, going to give the ball up. After the sack on first down, Herbert. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th. The ball comes out, and this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
A gain of 3, second down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And he'll throw this one away. I don't think he's out of the pocket, no. Here comes the flag. Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
So now it's 3rd and long, because remember, they also lose a down on the grounding call. Namath to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Oh, he left that one in a bad spot, but fortunately it's just an incompletion and not picked to bring up 4th down. The career leader in field goals made knocks that one through. And they will open things up a bit more. It's 24-7. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Back to throw here, Herbert. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Deion Sanders. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions. Throwing is Namath.
That's complete to Justin Jefferson. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. Here's Namath. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
From the 27, Namath. He dumps it off for Henry. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And they're going to face a 3rd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage, because you're able to keep